Hey guys, Irish Demon here. It's an absolutely beautiful sunny day here in the south of Ireland. I hope you're all having a great time wherever you are. Hope you're getting a bit of sun out there too. I wanted to have a look back over some of the old Karen videos from this channel that you guys like the most. So these are some of the Karen videos that got the most views or the most likes or whatever. Let me know down below which ones you prefer. I really hope you get a laugh out of these on this absolutely gorgeous day we're having here today. So enjoy the video and we'll catch you later. Lads and lassies, welcome to the show. We have got an unbelievable Karen here in court. She calls the judge,
They, them is actually my pronouns.
Okay, they, them calls the judge rude.
You're being rude and actually hateful.
Okay. Whilst herself being quite rude and obnoxious. This is without a doubt one of the most obnoxious Karens that I have seen in court. And that's saying something because I've seen quite a few of them. Anyway, watch them as they go off.
Hello, Ms. Schultz. We are here on 3 different cases. Case 3A05-21741 and case 3A01-73909. Both of those are conditions of releases, so arraignments have already happened in those cases. We're also here on a new case, and that's case 3A02-91699. And Ms. Schultz, you should have received a document from jail staff, and at the top it says acknowledgement of defendant's rights, and it lists all the rights that you have as a defendant. Do you see that form?
I have that form with me. I would say that I did not have my lawyer present during questioning, and I have not ever, when I have been in the custody of Jefferson County law enforcement.
Okay, thank you. Did you sign that form?
I wrote that I did not have that particular right, and then I signed it.
I understand, Ms. Schultz. What I'm asking you is if you signed to that form.
And then I'm answering you. I said I did not have that particular right, and then I signed it.
Thank you. I'm noting that I hear what you have said, so thank you.
Yep.
All right, you are charged with 2 counts of assault in the 4th degree, and then you are also charged with the disorderly conduct. Assault in the 4th degree are gross misdemeanors. Each of those counts are punishable by up to 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. The disorderly conduct is a misdemeanor. That's punishable by up to 90 days in jail or a $1,000 fine. The alleged violation date is August 13th, 2023. I've looked at the police report and read through the police report or the probable cause statement that's associated with those particular allegations.
Those will be questions to my lawyer. He's out of town. He's not here right now.
So Mr. Range is in the courtroom today to represent you.
He's not my lawyer, actually.
But he's here to represent you today.
No.
Ms. Schultz.
My name is Schultz Armijo. He is not my lawyer.
Well, he's here to represent you today. Mr. Range?
Thank you, Judge. I'll reserve if Ms. Schultz.
Armijo. Schultz Armijo is my name.
So I'll be reserved.
Okay, thank you.
It's okay. You don't know me because we've never met.
I am finding probable cause for all 3 of these allegations, and I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. I'm going to appoint Jefferson Associated Counsel to represent you because Jefferson Associated Counsel represents you on the other cases, and Mr. Range works for that law office.
Mr. Davis represents me on the other cases. Thanks. Also, the last time I was in jail, you handled, not you particularly, but the court handled a protection order for me. They did not pick up the weapon. They did not pick up the intimate photos that my husband has.
I think I speak for every man, woman, they, them, whatever on earth when I say that nobody, and I cannot stress this enough, nobody wants to see those photos. I wouldn't be surprised if he destroyed them immediately and then took that camera and yeeted it into the river, then ran to the nearest church to find a Catholic priest to beg for forgiveness and to pray that God might delete those images from his head.
And it was actually not handled at all. And that was what I was supposed to handle before. And I would actually like to bring that to your attention. There is my husband out there who's former special forces who sent me threatening text messages of things you stole from my home.
All right, so
And
that's something that you'll want to talk with.
beforehand.
All right, so listen, right now it's Mr. Ashcraft's turn to talk, and so I'm going to ask for conditions of release from Mr. Ashcraft.
Your Honor, at this point, the state's not asking you for any bail. We just ask that she give the court an address and let the court know
Is
if she
actually
changes
my
that.
pronouns, so it's the correct way to
Okay, Miss,
refer.
I need you to not say anything because we can only have one person talking at a time. It's
Okay,
Mr.
well,
Ashcraft's
he
turn.
has you saying.
I'm gonna have the jail mute
you.
you if you cannot sit there quietly. Go
You're
ahead, Mr.
you're being rude and actually hateful.
Okay,
Now, you can call this hateful or whatever you want, but personally, I don't care what your pronouns are. I don't care who you date. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care about any of that. My mantra in life is leave me the fuck alone, and I'll do the same for you. But if somebody tells me that their pronouns are they, them, fine. Yeah, cool. I'll say that. I don't care. I don't care enough to argue about the fundamentals of it that some people have issues with. That's up to yourself. But if you present as a woman and he calls you a woman, you don't have to be an ass about it. You don't have to say he's hateful for it. He just didn't know.
jail, if the jail would please put the device on mute, I will ask for that to be unmuted in a moment. Mr. Ashcraft, conditions of release, please.
I've lost track of
I'll
where I
ask
was.
you
Okay,
to
so
start over.
I'll have her remain in address note of the court, notify the court if there's a change in the address. The next court date is October 4th for the jury trial of October 19th. Have no further violations of the law, have no contact with Daniel Clemens or Misty Dawn O'Hara, and we're asking for anti-harassment orders. Also not go back to the mobile station on Sims Way, which is where all this appears to happen. That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So there is currently a few hearings that are already set in this court, and the next one is August 23rd at 8:45. I think all of these cases should be set on the same date, Mr. Ashcraft.
I agree, Your Honor.
Mr. Range, any objection to that? Okay. I am going to go along with those conditions. Thank you. And are you asking for I think I missed not.
I have the orders right here. Your Honor.
Okay.
Now, if there's one thing that drives a Karen more crazy than anything, it's a situation where somebody tells them to be quiet and they simply don't have the ability to do it. Now, she's muted here at the moment, and as you can see, she's absolutely seething that she just can't talk. What you saying there, Karen? Speak up, can't hear you. Oh, it's almost like you're muted and you knew you were muted anyway. What you mouthing off for?
All right, if the jail could please unmute. I appreciate your help with that. Okay, so your next court date in district court is August 23rd at 8:45. You do have a court date in Superior Court where you're the petitioner of a protection order, and that's happening on August 16th. So that's on Thursday or on Wednesday.
That is the divorce
10
trial
o'clock.
date.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's the date of the divorce trial.
You hear that? That's the day of the divorce trial. Now, she mentioned that her ex-husband was ex-special forces, so I'm sure he's used to dodging bullets. But my friend, did you dodge the worst bullet of all here?
And I don't know that I will be able to make that date of the protection order.
I'm just
because I've
letting you
already-
know. I just wanted you to know when it was, so that way you would have that date since you were mentioning it.
The 6th, I'm letting you know, the 16th, I will not be, I will already be in Superior Court.
So that concludes your hearing today.
Okay.
You will want to contact Jefferson Associated Counsel, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I think that concludes our hearings at the jail.
Well, that was quite the show. Thank you for that one, Karen. In jail multiple times and all that kind of stuff. And the way you're acting kind of shows me why there might be a divorce in play here at the moment. Going so far as to call the judge rude and then clap your hands at her and give crap to the lawyer and all that kind of stuff. Textbook Karen. Am I still allowed to call her Karen? Yes, of course I am. Right? I'm not really sure. Anyway, lads and lassies, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon back again. Today we got a really interesting video for you. This lady in court, little bit of a Karen, I gotta tell you, decides to go missing from dealing with this situation for 7 whole years and then acts as if the whole world owes her a favor. But this judge is not messing around and he gets big mad.
What is your name?
Danelle Marie Crowl.
Spell that for my court recorder.
DENELLEMARIE CROWL.
Okay. Somebody from the city attorney's office is signing a nollie process. I don't even know who this person is. Linda, who is Brian Hamilton? Who is Brian Hamilton?
Campbell?
No, from the city attorney's office, I guess.
You want me to go get him?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry to be wasting your time this morning, Your Honor.
Well, where have you been for the last, I don't know, 7 years?
Between Michigan and Mississippi with my 5 children.
So why weren't these matters addressed by you?
I didn't have an income. I'm disabled with 5 children by myself. So I'm not financially able to do them kind of things. I got pulled over taking my autistic kids to school. They missed the bus and their education is really important. Without that, I would have milestone setbacks like you wouldn't believe. So I took them to school, not having a license that morning, lost my car, and got the tickets.
Well, let me ask you this question. How is it that you have a car without having a driver's license?
I was blessed.
You were what?
I was blessed. Someone blessed me
What
with
about-
it.
Yeah, but that means you have no insurance.
No, I have insurance, plates, tags, and all of that on my vehicle, but I have someone else drive it.
Well, but here's the problem, man. Most insurance companies have a clause in their policy that says, we don't have to cover anything and if there's not a validly licensed driver behind the wheel. So for all intents and purposes, you don't have insurance. So while you're talking about, taking your kids around.
That was a no-no, yes, I am
well,
aware.
That's not, I mean, that seems rather, that doesn't seem like the responsible thing to be doing.
That's why I changed around. I got myself out of trouble. I've been trying to clean up my ways, not doing the same mistakes I've made in the past.
No, but you're acting as though you deserve, a pass for this.
No, that's the wrong impression. I am totally apologize if that's what you got.
Oh yeah, that seems like a pretty legit apology right there. To quote Borat, not.
When I got the ticket,
Okay.
I had the car blessed to me because I was in a domestic violence situation. I just got out of the Y. I was trying to keep away from this individual. That was supposed to be something I was working on to get to my own, and instead I didn't ever get financially set to do so. It went to impound. I never got it back.
Okay. Who are you?
Brian Hamilton,
Have we met?
yes, like once or twice, I believe.
When did we meet?
I think it was a couple weeks.
Ma'am,
Yes,
how did this come to light most recently?
because I've been trying to seriously every little thing in my life, right down to my credit report. I've been
Oh,
trying.
no. You're not answering my question. I don't really, that's not what I'm asking you.
What was the question that I
That
missed?
is not what I'm asking you. You apparently haven't been seen on this case. Let me look here.
Oh, in a long time, like 7 years, maybe.
And do you think that's something to be proud of? Just bold as brass. Ah, yeah, it's been like 7 years, no big deal. And then you expect the court to do you favors.
Because I tried to save up money to get my license, and they told me I have
The
tickets.
last time you were here was for a pretrial. Oh, no, you appeared on June 8th. And it got set for a pretrial.
Before
So
Christmas.
how is it that you happened, what led to you being here on June 8th?
I've been coming in and the court dates kept getting rescheduled. I came in since before Christmas. I was trying to seriously get a license, get my stuff situated. I'm trying to, my kids are autistic, Your Honor. And in order for me to take care of them financially and properly as they get older, I have to have my ducks in a row. My ducks are a little messy. So I started at the very beginning and I started working my way through, and that had to lead to taking care of legal ticket so that I can get a license and so on and so forth, because I can't keep relying on everybody else to drive me around.
I gotcha. So it's everybody else's fault. Oh, they kept moving the court date. What, for 7 years?
Where do you, ma'am?
Yes.
Pay a whole lot of money. You pay a whole lot of money in taxes in this community. And there's a millage every few years for the MTA. They have a bus system that goes all over the city.
I don't live out there, Your Honor.
And where do you live?
I'm out here in Saginaw. I don't even live in Flint.
Well, they have stars in Saginaw, man. Have you heard of that?
No.
You've never heard of it.
No.
You've never heard of stars.
No.
Well, maybe that's the problem. Ma'am,
Yes.
stars is the name for the bus system in Saginaw County.
Oh, no, I would have no idea what that was then.
So you're going to sit there and tell us that your prime concern is transport for your autistic children. Now, I definitely do not envy your situation. Being a single mother with 4 autistic children sounds incredibly challenging. But with all that said, if the reason you're in court in the first place is from trying to transport them illegally, then surely you would look at all of the options that were legal for you to do so. And if one of those options in particular was a free bus, I can't understand why you would not have looked into that. But I'm sure you'll have plenty of excuses.
I see. So in other words, what you're telling me is you never heard of the bus system in Saginaw County. I don't live there and I've heard it.
I live out here, but I don't know.
How long have you lived in Saginaw County? How long have you lived in Saginaw?
I've been at this house since April, May, the end of May, maybe.
Well, just for your information, STARS stands for Saginaw Transit Authority Regional Services.
Okay.
Now, I can't believe you've been there since April and haven't heard of the bus system up there.
I don't go too much of any place other than Sam's Club or Walmart for groceries.
You just contradicted yourself. You talk about you got to take your kids around. Listen, I'm not going to shilly-shally around with you.
I'm not.
Okay? I'm not signing this right now. You call the bus system up there, 989-907-4000. You find out if they have a dial-a-ride system, and then you get a bus pass. And then I'll schedule this for, what's today? The 11th?
Why do I
I'm
need
going to
a-
schedule this for a week. I'm going to schedule this for a week from now. And you're going to show me that you've done that, because I'm not going to listen to you with your excuses when you won't even take, reasonable actions to try to make sure you're not in this situation again.
I don't understand what you mean reasonable.
That's simple.
My son's dad drives me to the store when I need to go. What is that not reasonable, Your Honor? I chose not to drive because I don't want to.
You know what? Don't argue with me. If you want to argue with me, that's fine. We'll set it for trial. We'll see if the cops show, and then it'll get dismissed if the cops don't show up. You want to do that?
I'm
Or
confused.
do you
why-
want to try to do something to help yourself that you claim you want to get yourself together?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if you could repeat the phone number for me, but you're getting loud and I don't know why.
Look it up yourself.
I think it's abundantly clear to absolutely anybody watching this. The judge is not getting angry with her. He's getting frustrated with this situation. He's trying to help her. And I think we can all agree that sometimes the best way to help somebody is to help them help themselves. So by trying to give her this opportunity to go and get her situation sorted out, he is actually helping her to try to teach her a lesson about how to look after herself and her family. But all she knows to do is to just get defensive. And I don't necessarily blame her. I'm sure she has had a very difficult life. But sometimes you just got to realize that people can't always do everything for you.
Take some positive action, like you say, and look it up. STARS. On Johnson Street, downtown Saginaw. You seriously have not seen the city buses running around Saginaw? You're telling me that?
I don't even have a social outlet with people. I don't
Hey.
like to go out. Why is that hard to believe?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess when you live in a town that has a bus system, that's had a bus system for 40 years, and there's buses up and down the streets, you know, on the main streets through the town, I guess they would be noticeable, you know, but maybe not. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Maybe I don't spend a lot of, I haven't been to Saginaw in quite a while, so I can't say,
Outside that often.
I can't say how often the buses run up there, huh?
I don't make it a point to be out in the world like that, Your Honor. I make it a point to go do what needs to be done and get home, and that's that. I'm not an outside type person. I don't like doing all that extra stuff. There's no need for it.
I don't know what that means, ma'am. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not an outdoors person. What does that mean in terms of, ma'am, listen, you need to, ma'am, you need to kind of quit right now, because you ever heard of that expression, quit while you're ahead?
Well, I don't know why you're getting mad at me.
I'm not getting mad at you. I'm holding you accountable. And maybe somebody needs to do that. And maybe somebody needs to do that, because you've given me every excuse in the world. So if you've not heard the expression, quit while you're ahead, you should quit, because you're in the opposite direction. We'll see you next Monday on Zoom. Okay, what's next?
So there we have it, folks. Now, this is a pretty tough situation. Yes, this lady definitely has a very difficult life. And again, I don't envy her situation. But she left this go for 7 years and then wonders why the judge is getting a little bit frustrated when she keeps coming up with excuses. If you want to get things resolved, then just put your hand up, take the heat, and move on and get your life back on track. I wish her and her children all the very best with that, and I really mean that. But the attitude has to change. This is a waste of court resources. This is a waste of taxpayers' money that could be put into helping somebody like this. But unfortunately, the whole woe is me attitude, as tough as things are, has to stop. Anyway, folks, good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon here, back with another video. Now, while you're watching this, I'll be over in Portugal, and hopefully I'll have a few other videos for you to watch while I'm away, so make sure and smash that like button. Now, in this video, we got a lady here who did some really naughty stuff a couple of years ago and got a reasonably low bond. Now, she hasn't turned up to court on a bunch of occasions, and now she's here again and she wants to see a different judge to try to resolve the issue. Now, when you first see it, it seems like Judge Herman here is being a little bit harsh. But honestly, I lost all of that sympathy when I realized what she had done and how long she's let it go undealt with. Of course, we get the sob stories and it's easy to feel sorry for her. But at the end of the day, she isn't here for no reason. Anyway, check out the video and let me know down below what you think.
Is he there?
He is there. He's just turned his video off.
I'm there. I'm here.
Your Honor, listen. It's a bench warrant. It's a
Right.
bench warrant on a case on somebody's been arraigned. We do not represent them. However, it's an Odette case. So all we're asking you to do today is give her a date to go in front of Judge Odette, and then she can tell Judge Odette why it was she didn't show up. And I want her to understand this, our group does not represent bench warrants if it's after arraignment. If it's prior to arraignment, then we do. So we just need a new date in front of Odette. Actually, they have a form in there saying she should appear July 28th at 8:30 in front of Judge Odette.
What kind of case is it and what's the bond that Judge Odette asked for?
It's a,
I'm sorry, are we gonna go on the record on this, or what are we doing?
I guess we probably
it's
could.
an MDOP, Judge.
Oh, boy. I need to see that file.
It's not what she wants.
If he was sitting here on the bench, he'd have that file in front of him right now.
Yeah, he needs to see the file.
She doesn't have a choice on whether the judge sees the file.
I will,
She's bringing it into you right now. Lynn's on her way.
thank you.
She's the only walk-in though, so if you want to finish this, then we'd be off the record.
Okay. This is people of Mundy Township versus Simone Patrice Popppler. The charge is malicious destruction of property. Let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge, understanding, and belief.
Yes,
What is your full legal name?
Simone Patrice Popppler.
Okay, Mr. Wheaton, I was told by staff that Mr. Skinner did talk to her.
Yes, he did. But I'm telling you, and I'm letting her know, this program that we are on here, we do not represent bench warrants unless it's pre-arraignment. Now, he talked to her out of courtesy because she was here. But all she needs to do is, and actually it's a Judge Odette court. So all that we need to do today is get a date, which is already in the file, have her go to Judge Odette, and then she has to go in and let him know why she didn't show up.
Yes, I understand.
So, I mean, at this point, I will, in a, we have asked the court to go ahead and set that date. And she can go on that date and deal with this in front of Judge Odette. There's absolutely no reason to think she isn't going to show up. She voluntarily came in here today. So there's no reason to do anything more than just give her the new date and let her go. And if she doesn't show up on that date, then she'll have to deal with Judge Odette on that.
Does she have $250? Because that would wrap, that would wrap the case up. Because she was given one of those alternate sentences, 250 or 45 days.
You have 250 on you today?
Your Honor, I do not have 250 on me today. That I got arrested for that. Like, I want to say in May, and I paid $300 and something that day to get out. I've been arrested on this a couple times and paid to get out. It's the matter of this happened during COVID, and it just got mixed up during COVID. So I'm handling it now.
Is Judge Odette in the building?
Judge Odette, what?
Is he in the building today?
I wouldn't have the slightest idea, but I doubt it.
The date for the appearance for the show cause is going to be July 28th, 2022 at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to set the bond at $250 at 10%.
Your Honor, I believe Judge Odette might be here because he had these three trials that starting at 1 o'clock.
Well, if
That's
he's
why I'm
here-
not gonna reach anybody by phone then.
So she might want, you just might want to send her down to Judge Odette's.
Okay, so basically what's happened here is she had been given a sentence and she had to pay a certain amount of money and she didn't. Now, as she stated, she'd been arrested on this issue multiple times and had to pay her way out. So one might ask, why not just pay the fine in the first place and get it over and done with? Now, I get it. Money can be pretty scarce at times, especially at the moment with everything that's gone on. And yeah, $250 might not be a huge amount to most of us, but to a lot of us, it's a lot of money. However, I'm willing to bet she's got a phone in her pocket just like a lot of us do that probably costs in excess of $1,000. Obviously, I don't expect everybody to go to my standards, but if I was in trouble like this where my liberty was at risk, the first thing I would be doing is selling anything I can to get that paid off. Now, that may seem a little bit harsh, and sure, it probably is, but that's the reality of life. If you don't want to find yourself in this situation, then you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, before we continue, I just want to say a massive thank you to Old Squishy Gardener who finds these amazing videos. I can tell you from experience, it's very hard to find them. So check out Old Squishy Gardener in the description down below if you want to see these videos uninterrupted.
Yeah, Your Honor, I can, if you can give me till Friday, I can come and make that payment Friday. But as of today, I don't have any money.
I'm going to send the file to Judge Odette. It's his case, only because I'm on duty.
Whether you have time.
When I called for this warrant and they told me all I had to do was come in and they would give me a date to come to court to talk to Judge Odette.
That's what we just, why, if you want to, you can go down there right now if he's here and take care of
I'd
it.
rather come back with someone. I'd rather come with someone and see Judge Odette. I'd rather have someone with me to come back and see Judge Odette.
Well,
Instead of today. Today, I was told I would just get an arraignment and I would get a date. I specifically called up here for this.
you have $25. Do you have $25?
No, I don't have anything. My bank account is overdrawn. I have to go to Southfield for work. My bank account is overdrawn. I do not get paid until Friday. I just came because I cannot be driving with a warrant on my name.
Again, I know it sounds harsh, but that's just tough luck. You should have thought about that first of all before you did what you did in the first place, and we'll get to that here in a while. And second of all, you should have tried to prioritize making arrangements to keep yourself out of trouble. Again, I know it's not easy to come by that kind of money, and you explain later that you had a lot of things going on. I get that. But you could have done something. You could have contacted the court, you know, if it was more convenient for you at an earlier time, to see if you could arrange something. But it seems that you didn't. And now the chickens have come home to roost.
Is this the only bench warrant you've had on this case? Let me look. No, wait a minute. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, she got sentenced. It's a 2017 case. She got sentenced October 1st, 2019 to pay $834, it looks like. She had to make restitution, some malicious destruction of property. So she had to make restitution. So they set a show cause for April 20th of 2020. So apparently on April 20th, she got it adjourned to June 2nd, 2020. And then it got adjourned again to July 28th, 2020. So she didn't show up on July 28th, 2020. So,
Your Honor, may I add that was during COVID? The court
excuse me, I'm in the middle of talking. Excuse me, I'm in the middle of speaking. Okay?
I'm sorry. Yes.
She did not show up on July 28th, 2020. So apparently the judge issued the first bench warrant. She apparently got picked up sometime around April because she posted a bond. The bond was for $250. They applied that bond to the restitution fee. So they set another show cause. She had, when she posted her bond, she was to appear for May 24th, 2022 for a show cause. It says defendant to appear if fines and restitution not paid in full. So that's when she was supposed to come back on May 24th of this year. Apparently she did not, and now we have a bench warrant. So, ma'am, you already lost a bond because you didn't show up the next time. I don't.
So basically what we got here is because she's put this off and ran away from the issue for so long, she's got picked up multiple times and had to pay her way out, over and above the cost of what it would have been to just deal with the issue. And now she stands there and wants everything to be put off once again. How long can you allow this stuff to go on for? This happened back in 2017. You can't use the events of the last 2 years as an excuse because it was almost 3 years between the start of that and when the incident happened in the first place. It's over 5 years now. Surely in 5 years you'd be able to resolve this.
They
like,
told
you know,
me that I can just pay the fine and the thing will be over with. I have to,
Yeah,
it's over
yeah.
$1,000 something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
so-
told. Wait, you were told you could pay the fine before that May 24th date, and apparently you didn't.
I didn't have the money, Your Honor. I don't have the money. If I had the money, I would have been paid it and got it off of me. That's why I'm going to start making payments. That's why I came today to get the warrant and start making payments to get that off, because I cannot afford to keep getting arrested and paying all that money to get out of jail. I can't afford that.
But here's the question that this raises. You have been affording it. You're here right now with your liberty because you've been paying your way out of jail. So if you've been able to afford that, why haven't you been able to afford to just pay the fine in the first place?
I'm trying to make this right. All of this happened during COVID. I lost my father during COVID. I lost my best friend during COVID.
Right, well, it's a 2017
Yeah.
COVID.
Honor, why can't you just give the woman a PR bond and let her get in front of Judge Odette? It's his case. Let him deal with it.
Then she should go over there now and
She
let him
doesn't
deal with it.
have $25. Are you gonna put her in jail over $25?
Get a load of discount Colonel Sanders over here talking to the judge like that. He's got enough cheek for another arse.
No, it's $250. That's what the warrant says.
You
She
said
didn't show up.
10%.
Listen,
And
listen.
she doesn't have
Listen.
the 10%.
I mean, this is not a scab that should be picked at, because I'm looking now and seeing that she blew off sentencing in 17, got a bench warrant then.
I spent time in jail for all of that, Your Honor. I've been to jail for this 3 times. I had been to jail for this. I did 20 days for this.
Yeah, but you owe, listen, whatever property you
And
destroyed.
that's when they gave me the big fine. I wasn't able to pay the fine. I don't
No,
have $1,000.
Well, if you don't have $1,000, how about not doing $1,000 worth of damage?
Looks like they applied the money that you posted on that bond towards restitution of whatever you destroyed.
No, they're not, because I'm sorry, they're still saying that I owe, if they are applying it, they're still saying that I owe the same amount. It's even more now than then. It was 800 and something then. It's over 1,000 and something now.
I don't see it that it says 1,000. The warrant says 250 or 45 days. That $250 bond you posted,
Yeah,
you posted a $250 bond in April. They applied it. It says right on here, they applied it to restitution.
well, it's still saying that I owe over 1,000 and something dollars. The last paperwork that I saw.
Judge, the total amount due on the case now, the balance due is $1,097.
Well, let me see what this was about.
The restitution amount was $784, and the rest is fines, costs, and probably late fees. Oh, she had probation, so there's probation oversight fees in there.
I think she was supposed to be paying monthly on that.
At the time, I wasn't working and COVID happened. In 2020, COVID happened. I was not working. I had to pay for my father's funeral.
Yes, in 2020. This happened back in 2017. Am I the only one seeing the issue with this here?
And on top of that, Your Honor, I got evicted from my apartment. It's like a lot been going on since that time. That was a long time ago, 2017. And I thought this was over with until I had that last warrant and they picked me up because I hadn't heard any more about it and not even about the probation or anything. So then when I got the last warrant, I couldn't get time off of work because I spent time in jail for that. They took me I got in a car accident. I had a warrant for this and I did 3 days in jail. So my job wouldn't give me any time off. So I couldn't make that one. So I said, I'll turn myself in. I called and they told me to come and turn myself in and I would get a date and I could make payment. They told me to make sure I make payments before or try to pay it off before the next court date. And that was my plan.
It looks like you slashed somebody's tire.
Your Honor, that was in 2017. I am a saved woman. I really don't want to bring that type of stuff back up. I'm going to pay my fines and costs, and I will pray that this is left behind me. Please. Please don't bring that flashing tire up. Lord, help me, Jesus. You're bringing old wounds back to me.
Why you bringing up old shit?
Can I please deal with Judge Odette? Please, Your Honor.
Now, you may have missed the part there where she said she's a saved woman and she's found the Lord or whatever. Great. Good for you. Now, I'm sure if Jesus was here, he'd want you to do the right thing. What about the person who's waiting on restitution for something that you did 5 years ago? Surely the godly thing to do would be to resolve that issue.
I think you need to go around and see him because you know what? This is his case. The fact of the matter is, you should make these arguments to him because the fact is.
Yeah, I think I should.
Excuse me. I'm talking now. I'm talking now.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking now. The fact is, somebody has had to wait 5 years. They still haven't gotten paid back for their tire. And that's not right. That's just not right.
Your Honor, I didn't even slash that tire though. You don't even really know what happened with that whole ordeal, and I was kept going to court for that. And so I just said, you know what, I will pay it. And you're giving me anxiety right now, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but boo-hoo. You're giving me anxiety. Come on. You're giving yourself anxiety. Sure, you claim that you didn't do it. You should have went to trial. I understand why some people just take the small charge and get it done with. The problem is you didn't just get it over and done with, did you? You waited 5 years and paid a fortune to get your ass out of jail a few times.
Please.
Ma'am, you know what? I don't know what to tell you. Go see Judge Odette. Either that or you pay the $25 bond that I wrote on here. Okay, that's where we're at.
Where do I go?
Down on the other side, just go out to the hallway, go all the way down to take a sharp left, get to the first court.
So if I pay, if somebody bring me $25, do I still go to court on the 27th?
Yes.
How does?
Yes. But if you really want to be, if you really want to be done with it, maybe you should have somebody bring $250 and the file will get closed.
I don't have anyone to bring me $250, Your Honor. I asked if someone brought me $25 up here right now. Do I still go to court on the 27th?
Yes, you'd have to go to court on the 27th. Or whatever that date is.
I'm gonna call someone to bring me the $25 because when I go see.
She pay the $25?
It's the 28th, by the way. It's the 28th.
Judge, wait, I'm sorry. You keep going back and forth between saying for her to see Judge Odette now and then just wait until next week. Are you wanting her to see Judge Odette now?
No, he said I can pay the $25 now.
She's got two choices.
See him on the 28th.
She's got a choice of two things. She can go see Judge Odette now to see if he will release her on her own recognizance without posting anything, or she can, I'm setting the bond at 10% of the $250. She can pay $25, post that, and come back and see Judge Odette on July 28th at 8:30 for the show cause. Quite frankly,
Here's what I
There's a-
think, if I may interject here and we can wrap this up.
Hold your chicken nuggets there a second, Colonel. Let me just say this. This lady has been messing around for a long, long time with this case. Now, I get it. Sometimes life gets in the way. I've been there myself. I'm sure not a single one of you watching right now hasn't had a situation where you've put something on the long finger, it creates more and more anxiety, and it makes the whole thing worse. We've all done it. But at this point, it's 5 years. She's wasted so much court time. She's wasted police time. She's wasted taxpayers' money, all over a few $100. Again, I get it. It's not always that easy to come by it. But for God's sake, just resolve it. Get it over and done with. This judge is actually being more than reasonable. As harsh as it may seem he's being outrageously reasonable. He's given you options after 5 years.
She is going to call and try to get $25 brought down to her. Does she pay that money at the clerk's office? Well, that's what we'll do then. You can give her the appropriate paperwork and we'll be done at this point.
Now understand that if it doesn't get posted today, and don't they close at 4 o'clock? What time do they close?
They close at 4 o'clock and
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
3:42 now.
Well, you don't have a lot of time. Is there still an ATM machine out there?
I don't know, Judge.
Yes,
I don't
there
go
is.
out that
Yes,
way.
there is. I use it.
Okay,
Lynn
well,
says there is.
Do you have an ATM card?
I have a credit card. I don't want to use it. I'm over my limit, but I will use it. I will use it.
I would if I were you. Okay, somebody needs to get this, that's what I'm gonna do.
Now my credit don't go down because I ain't even got the money on there.
Ma'am, go to the clerk's office right now if you got a credit card.
Just a moment. I have to get the file before she can go over there.
Paperwork, and you just put it on your card and then show up at debts on the 28th. All right, Sabrina,
Well, okay, so what, if she's saying that she's gonna try to use a card that's already at or over its limit, what if it
Well,
rejects?
No, I got money. I'm over my credit card limit. I have money on there.
It'll still let you use it?
I wouldn't have said it would.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
asking for your own,
yeah,
you know, I'm
yeah,
not
it's just
saying,
gonna affect my credit.
okay,
That's the issue.
all right.
okay, so she'll be able to pay the $25 for it.
Okay, well, I will go with you to the clerk's office.
Now, it sucks that the lady is in a situation where she may have to affect her credit. That's awful. I don't want that to happen to this lady. Maybe she is genuinely trying to make amends, but it's time to actually step up. Stop talking about it and start doing it. Go use your credit card, pay it off, take the hit on it. Go to the credit card company and set up a payment plan. It's tough. Life is tough. But you make it harder on yourself when you, first of all, put yourself in a situation where you end up here in the first place. And second of all, don't resolve that situation and end up having to keep coming back and keep owing more and more money. As entitled as you've been here and as much time as you've wasted, I am rooting for you. It's a relatively minor thing, so there's no excuse to keep it going for so long. Anyway, folks, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope people can learn a bit of a lesson from it too. It made me remember that, you know, there are times in your life where things are tough, but you just got to push through. It's the only way. And with that, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure and smash that like button, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by becoming a member, Patreon, dropping an old super thanks down below, or dropping a tip in the PayPal tip jar. I'll catch you all once I get back from Portugal. Felicidades. Alrighty, so we are back on the record here. This is with, I don't even know how to say her name properly. It's Brayley, isn't it? Magistrate Brayley. We got this lady here. I spotted this one. Well, I didn't spot it, actually. I heard it this morning when I was out driving around listening with my old headphones in, as I always do. The lovely lady here in the middle of the screen, Miss the person, or Savsit, formerly known as Octavia Lewis, the corporate entity or whatever. She has some issues here today, and it gets pretty messy. Now, we're going to play it for you and let me know what you think down below. I feel like this is one of those scenarios where a couple of nice nicknames are coming handy. So let me know down below.
Okay, now calling case numbers 22W002133A and B, as well as 22W002543A, B, and C. These are the Township of Ypsilanti versus Octavia Lewis. Ma'am, can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Bree Octavia Melissa Alexia Albertine Lewis. My incorporated name is Octavia M. Lewis Incorporated. That is the name that you are trying.
Okay. So today is the date and time set for a pretrial in
The guy's face, sorry, I have to just point this out, right? The guy, what way? Down in the middle row on the far left, I think, if you're looking at it. Anyway, whatever. That guy's face is absolutely priceless. He kind of looked at the cameras and say, "Oh, we're about to have some shit go down over here."
the matter ending in C, which is for failure to display a license. I am seeing that your license is suspended. Is it something that you are working on fixing?
At this time, I've already gone to the Secretary of State. Unfortunately, due to Magistrate Nelson's unplanned retirement, there was an agreement on record with him that if I could get my license back, that these matters would be dismissed. Unfortunately, what didn't happen in that agreement was he did waive the fees for me at that time, and I went to the Secretary of State to get it, but I did not have the paperwork. I called to the courthouse, informed them of that, and they told me that I would have to deal with that in court because that was something that was on record, verbally spoken on record, that I would have to deal with the court. So I'm actually here today to try to get that reinstated so that I can receive it. I had the state of Michigan caseworker that was assisting me, that is the conservator for the state of Michigan, that was assisting me because of my accounts.
Okay. Mr. Barnett.
So I'm sorry, I do have to tell you this is actually the wrong venue for this because it is an incorporated name. It falls under corporate law, but I'm going to try to get this handled civilly because it happened during the time that I was physically in the car.
Can I just off that, right? So she said that this is corporate law. But first of all, I'm sure the judge, the learned judge who obviously was a lawyer, or magistrate, I should say, who was a lawyer and is now a magistrate, is probably very, very thankful for your little legal lesson there. Now, maybe it's different in the States, but my understanding is that corporate law falls under civil law anyway. Now, again, I could be corrected on that one, but that was my understanding anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have to tell you this is actually the wrong venue for this because it is an incorporated name. It falls under corporate law, but I'm going to try to get this handled civilly because it happened during the time that I was physically in the car.
Your Honor, it sounds like she doesn't have a valid license, so I guess I wouldn't oppose an adjournment to allow her to go try to resolve that. I want her to be clear. I'm the one who is responsible or makes a decision about what sort of plea offer to make. I would not dismiss the case. My standard offer would be a reduction to a civil infraction if you get a valid license. It may be beneficial to put this case in front of the judge. It sounds like there may be more going on here than we realize.
Yes,
I wouldn't have an objection to that, Your Honor. I think this should go before
That
the
would
judge.
be fine with me also.
Okay, then this is going to be adjourned to March 20th, 2024 at 9 a.m. and that will be before Judge Washington.
Yes, I think I like this to be in person.
Mr. Barnett, is that something that you're able?
She's always welcome. I don't know. I mean, she's welcome to show up at the courthouse, and okay. I'm going to be on Zoom at that point. So
that's fine. I have to be in person. I need to be in person.
And Attorney Anderson, I'm assuming somebody from your office can be here in person.
It goes by the judge's docket, Your Honor, but she can certainly contact her assigned attorney to work that out.
Okay, so I believe that in-person hearings.
My actual attorney is not here today.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm trying to set your time at this point because it's not going to be 9 a.m. The court judge does not set for 9 a.m. I believe, I
Your Honor, I'm going to suggest that we set it at 9 a.m. if she wants to appear and then zoom into the courtroom. And then Judge Washington can determine if she wants to have her come into the courtroom itself.
Well, my attorneys will be accompanying me. This is why I'm asking for it to be in person, which is actually my right to be in person, to represent myself in person.
Ma'am, okay, I'm gonna
I've
cut you
never
off for
had
a minute. Okay,
I'm sorry?
I'm clarifying with the clerks if the judge has a set time for in-person hearings. Let me find that out, please.
Okay.
So is she representing herself, or is she going to have an attorney, or like a standby attorney, maybe standby counsel? I got to just say the lady just below her sparking up a cigarette and
Okay.
smoking away his
While
gas.
I wait to hear back on that, I will note that the other 4 matters that were called were set for show cause hearings. Those will also be adjourned to the same date. Okay. So you're hearing the pretrial on March 20th, 2024 will be at 11 a.m. in person. Okay. And if you have nothing else this time, this hearing is concluded and you are free to sign out of Zoom.
You said you were checking to see if there was an in-person time?
Yes, 11 a.m. in person. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get a blood kill and all those that came in.
Well, that was interesting. It was like a kind of sob-sit light, I would say. First of all, what is going on with all the kids? Like, what are you feeding those children? They've been in and out of the toilet there the whole time. Like, god damn, like put a lock on it or something. I don't know. I gotta say, it'd be interesting to see what comes of this one in court. Definitely stay tuned for that. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that one. If she's going to appear in person, I like it's fine when they appear in person. I like when they appear via Zoom because it's easier for me to hear and see everything. But yeah, this whole corporate nonsense, like, I mean, there is no basis for it. This has been covered time and time again. You know, there's no point me rehashing everything over and over again. We've seen judges deal with it and all that kind of stuff. The reality is a lot of these people do something stupid or something illegal, and when they get caught, they decide that, you know what, maybe the laws just don't apply to me anymore. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not the way that works. It's like, you know, when a kid is like, you know, sorry, you can't do that because that's the rules. And they're like, well, the rules don't apply to me. You're like, you want to bet, do you? Because I'll just send you to your room. And basically this is like the adult version of just sending somebody to the room. Like, I mean, you know, it's not the crime of the century or anything like that. And then on the same side, she's applied to the Secretary for State. She's gone through the kind of legal process of it. And she's prepared to hear it in the wrong jurisdiction or the wrong venue or whatever the case may be, or whatever she's claiming. But it's kind of like having the best of both worlds. She's using the whole SOVSIT stuff on one side and then trying to use the legal system that she clearly disagrees with or feels is the wrong venue on the other side. So, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it. Anyway, let me know what you think down below, guys. I think because of the internet, because of YouTube and all that kind of stuff, the whole SOVSIT thing is starting to get out of control, really, because, you know, there's a lot of this stuff out there. A lot of it is just absolute tripe. And I'm not against people fighting for the rights that they have or the rights that they feel they deserve. I've got absolutely no problem with that. None whatsoever. In fact, I applaud anybody who goes out there and fights for those rights that they don't feel they have or that they should have, or that they feel aren't being, you know, respected. I've got nothing but respect for people like that. Problem for me is when somebody does something clearly illegal or stupid and then tries to use a sovereign citizen defense for it. It's like you're going about it all the wrong way. There's no winner in that scenario. Well, I mean, there is. Like, ultimately, you're going to lose 9 times out of 10, if not more than that. But it's just pointless, and it costs the taxpayer more and more money every time these absolute mouth breathers appear But I guess it gives us something to laugh at. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure and smash that like button, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte. And also, just let me know how you feel about this format. Sláinte again. Good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon back with another video. Today we got a lady who comes into court with a really strange name on the screen, and a judge picks her up on it straight away. Now, this lady is so entitled that she believes that she should never have to pay for her own rent. She makes the argument that it's everybody else's fault except her own.
Good afternoon. Are you Carrie Haney?
Yes.
You come in as Grinch 74. That means there were 73 Grinches before you.
I mean, she does kind of look like the Grinch.
When you come into court, you might want to consider what you come in named as. I had a terrible experience last year. But I'm a little better at it than I was. I also have a telephone number. I'm not sure who that is. Anyway, let's call this case. It's entitled Riverside Townhouses versus Carrie Haney. Carrie Haney has filed a motion for temporary relief from judgment and an ex parte order to stay proceedings. Rather than issue the order ex parte, I set it for hearing on short notice. I've been on vacation for 2 weeks, but I was in here last Tuesday. And last Tuesday, I asked the clerk to set the matter for hearing this afternoon, and she squeezed it in here. Sumchit Hart is here on behalf of Riverside, and their new manager, Lori Casino, is here. This matter goes all the way back to April or March, but we had a hearing on May 16th. Amy Lucas was here from Keystone. They were working on having a check. We were here again on June 17th, and we made a finding that the rent due was $3,903.61. We did a judgment which was due June 27th. Now here we are on the 25th of July. Ms. Casino,
yes.
Has Riverside received any money from Keystone?
Now, just to explain briefly what Keystone is, in this particular area, it is a community-based charity that assists people in paying their rent if they fall in hard times. Simply applying for it does not mean that you don't have to pay your rent. Also, they're not under any obligation. If they run out of money, they got nothing left to give you, and that seems to be what's happening at the moment anyway. Keystone should only be kind of used in rare circumstances when you really need the help, and definitely should not be looked at as a long-term opportunity to get free rent. But that's not going to stop this entitled Karen.
Not that
You broke up. You've received no money from Keystone?
No. We have not.
I emailed Keystone and asked them to join the hearing a while ago, and I haven't heard from them. So someone assisted you, Ms. Haney, with filing this pleading. Who helped you? Legal aid?
No, I did it online, but my SIRA application is still processing, it says.
According to who?
On my, when I go and check the status of it.
Have you talked to anybody?
I just got the email with the phone number this weekend, so I was gonna call today.
Well, all right. Ms. Hart, what's your position here?
Your Honor, we would object to any additional time given to Ms. Haney. The judgment was after a hearing, Your Honor, and the time has lapsed, not only for her to pay and stay there, but she didn't file the motion until the 29th. There is no defense to setting aside the judgment. It's been more than 30 days since the application for Sarah. We'd asked for the judgment to stand, Your Honor.
Ms. Haney?
Yes.
Let's pretend we're in a court hearing and you're talking to me rather than whoever is in the room there with you. They want you to move today. They're ready to do an eviction tomorrow. And they're asking that I don't grant your stay. They asked that
see,
let him talk. I'm sorry, what do you want me to know?
I just got another thing in the mail from Riverside, last week sometime, that I had on 30 days or something like that. And then I owed another $2,900 and something dollars. It wasn't even like the same amount that I got originally.
Well, it goes up as months pass. So
But
let's
it's
back
gonna
up.
go up though, because my rent should be zero. That's what I'm not understanding, why it keeps adding up if I don't pay rent.
What level of entitlement does it take to think that your rent should be zero and that it's everybody else's fault and everybody else's responsibility but your own? Now, the program that you signed up for, you would have easily been told that it's not guaranteed. I get it. People fall on hard times. We've all fallen on hard times. That doesn't mean that you can just sit back and say, it's all good. The community will cover it. Now the chickens come home to roost and you're getting all ratty.
Your rent was $765 per month, due on the first of each month.
Nobody ever told me that my rent was that amount. When I first moved in here, it was
I told you
$88.
that in court. Apparently you didn't recertify or something, but we had a hearing. You were here.
Yes.
We
And then
had the first hearing, just a minute. We had the first hearing May 17th. I adjourned it for 30 days from May 17th to June 17th, 31 days.
Yes.
And we had a hearing at that time, and I made a finding that you owed $3,903.61 by June 27th, or you were subject to being evicted. You were there. I explained all the circumstances to you.
And I
You
understand.
haven't paid, and Keystone hasn't paid. So they were ready to evict you. And then you asked for this order to stay it, which has been an additional month. And they're asking that I deny your motion and sign the writ of eviction. I have it here in front of me.
Well, it says that if my Sierra app was still in processing, I could do that.
Who says that?
The law thing that I pulled up on the thing. That's why I filled out the application.
Oh, that sounded like great legalese right there. I think we better ask Judge Demon about this one. What do you think, Judge Demon? Well, she did say that she pulled up the law thing on the thing, so seems pretty legit to me. This chick knows what she's talking about.
Well, all right. Well, for one thing, I don't have any proof that your Sierra application is in processing.
I can send you a screenshot.
Well, you haven't filed anything and you haven't talked to anybody. All you've done is check your email.
I did file something with Riverside.
I adjourned the matter once, 30 days, which you're entitled, I am entitled to you're not entitled to a 30, well, you had it. You had it from June 27th or May 7th, May 16th to June 17th. We already adjourned it for 30 days. And
he just keeps saying the same thing.
Yeah, Karen, he keeps saying the same thing for two reasons. Number one, that thing hasn't changed. Number two, you're clearly incapable of listening to what he's saying.
And they're asking that I immediately grant the eviction, which is pretty heavy stuff.
Being that they let people run around here breaking out, and I've got 4 kids, but they'll let stay in here that destroy their apartments. That makes no sense. Because the girl didn't like me, so she kept pushing and pushing and pushing on me. That's bull. I went and I went and re-signed a new lease like a week after the first time they sent me a court paper. I went and filed it or signed it. I don't know why they don't have it. I don't know what happened to it, but I signed it. I sat down there for like an hour signing papers. And at that point, my rent should have been 0.
No, Karen, Number one, your rent should not have been zero. Your rent is whatever the rent set was, and then you will get a subsidy from a charity which would make it zero for you, not zero for them. They still need to be paid, and that is still your responsibility. Now, it sucks that you got 4 kids and you're worried about housing at this point. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but society can't keep footing the bill for these things, and you can't then lash out at everybody just because you're not looking after yourself and your family. That is your responsibility.
But they just kept adding it on and adding it on, and she kept putting stuff on my door and putting stuff on my door. I don't understand how it was that amount.
Your rent isn't zero, and that wasn't raised at the earlier hearings.
But it should be zero.
And they haven't paid your rent, and the landlord wants you to move.
Because it's processing. I can't speed it up.
You haven't filed anything that says it's
I
in
did.
processing.
I
Let's
did.
see. Let me see.
The last court date we had, it was in processing. She pulled it up and said that they would try to push it through. So I did.
That was on June 17th. Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
They haven't paid it.
And it is still processing. I can't do anything about it.
Well, neither can they. You haven't paid your rent. So you're saying, well, someone else is supposed to pay my rent. Well, they haven't paid it.
I'm not saying someone else. I'm saying the application that I applied for, I can't push it through any further. I can't jump to the government and make them push it through.
Yeah,
I can't. This is bull. She was just on here with us the last time and told them she would try to push it through. That's not my fault.
Ms. Hart, are you willing to give 10 days?
Your Honor, this case has been ongoing since April. That's not amendable to the complex. She's, as you can see, very combative. We would just
The
want
one time. I have been on these calls for freaking 4 different times and I've been fine because I'm tired. I'm tired of it. They've been picking and picking at me.
Calm down.
Yeah, she's clearly not a combative person. I get it. Sorting out rent can be very stressful. I've just recently been there myself. It ain't fun. But screaming at the people who are trying to help you is not the way forward. You didn't pay your rent. Now, I understand you were under the impression that it was going to be free. Well, it ain't. And it's on you as an adult and as a mother to ensure that you go and sort it out.
I'm sorry that
I
this
have
is
been
the way
quiet
it
the
is.
whole time and they don't let me talk every time.
This wasn't my idea, but you're not paying your rent. You're asking the government to pay your rent. The government hasn't paid it. I don't know why they haven't paid it, but they have not. They've
It's
also
still
not
in
reached.
processing. I cannot speed up the processing. It's not up to me. Marvin, stop! You're not making it better for me.
Who's there with
I
you?
have tried and tried and tried. I've applied for stuff. I filled stuff out on the computer.
All right,
I've gone through everything they told me to go through.
Now, I know you said that you tried filling out stuff. What about filling out a job application? Now, some of you might be looking at that and saying, that's pretty cruel, and she's got kids and it's hard to do. Let me be clear. A lot of people out there are doing that every single day. Now, I don't know, maybe this lady has mental health problems, maybe she has a disability. If that were the case, I'm sure there's specific assistance for her in that scenario.
Well, they didn't pay your rent. And
They're
for that,
still
I'm sorry.
processing.
All right, this is going to be very unpleasant. Keystone has not responded to them.
And I
They
have
haven't
tried
responded
to
to me.
communicate, but this girl up here that they had as the manager didn't like me. She refused to talk to me every time I tried.
Your motion for ex parte order to stay the eviction is denied. What you effectively got is a 1-month stay from June 27th to July 25th. But I've signed the writ of eviction. they're not even willing to give you any additional time. So they could start tomorrow with evicting you. So they want you to go, and they want you to go immediately, and I don't like that much.
I have 4 kids. Like, I can't just go.
With all due respect to this lady, I know it's tough being evicted, especially when you got 4 kids. Despite what another YouTuber might say, I myself have never been evicted. I also don't have any kids, so I'm not aware of how tough that would be, but I can only imagine. But here's the thing, folks. This has been going on for months and months and months now. A month ago, she had to go to court to get a stay on this eviction. That basically gives you 30 days to sort out your affairs. What's recommended in that scenario is either you come to a resolution with the owners, or you prepare your ass to move out.
I would immediately contact Keystone, even if they probably won't accept Keystone's payment because they want you to move.
But they have druggies out here breaking out windows. That's cute.
Fair enough. There may be people in that same apartment block that are causing trouble, breaking out windows, doing all that horrible stuff. That's between them and the owners or the authorities, depending on how bad it is. Just because people are doing that doesn't mean that you don't pay your rent. It also doesn't mean that when you don't pay your rent, that you don't get evicted. Now, all in all, this is a pretty horrible situation. But this lady was given opportunity on top of opportunities. Opportunities like free rent. A lot of us have to get up in the morning and work very hard to pay our rent. Most of you watching probably do, or a mortgage. Again, I don't know this lady's circumstances. It hasn't been brought up, so I assume it's nothing really that bad. Because if it was, she would be able to use it to her advantage in this scenario. You might argue that having 4 kids and having to pay for childcare would stop her from being able to go out and get a job. Millions of people the world over have to make that work every day. It's not that I don't have sympathy for her, I do. Despite her being so entitled and aggressive, I do have sympathy for her, but there has to be a stopping point. There has to be a point where all of your opportunities coming again and again and again have to stop. And it seems like this is where it has. You could tell because the judge even said it himself. He didn't like having to do this, that it wasn't going to be a nice thing to do, but it has to be done at some point. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below.